Hello knockouts, Tonya TKO here, and I am a self-love specialist from TonyaTko.com. I help you learn how to love yourselves and one another. On this channel, we use viral video topics as teachable moments in our own lives for dating, relationships, and self-love. Today, we're going to be looking at a few videos from a dance troupe called 24 Karat. I believe they're from the South. The video was taken in Florida, and it says Mardi Gras. So I don't know if the group is from New Orleans or wherever, but we're going to jump into it. I'm going to start out by saying I feel a little conflicted about showing the video because the video are of young women who are allegedly minors. I don't know the ages of the young ladies in the video, but they're dancing provocatively for grown men, and one of the men tries to get in on the dance, and there's a woman who kind of does a little pushback. Part of the reason that I feel a little conflicted about posting this is because the young girls or the young ladies are in turmoil. One of them went out, they said that they've been asking the woman who put this up to delete the video, and they're like, oh, she's seen our mess. So she says, delete our videos off your page. We asked so many times. She needs to see our messages. It's getting out of hand. Just looking at every comment that's calling us out our names. We're not hoes and sluts. We were raised right. We understand where you all are coming from. We're just asking for them to be deleted. That's all we're asking her to do, and we messaged her privately. She saw it and still not choosing to delete it. That's sad. It's messing us up going to school and having to get called to the office to leave campus because this. All right. And so that's why I'm a little bit conflicted, but there's a huge teachable moment here, and you need to be able to see this in order to be able to understand where the teachable moment comes in. The video does have music in it, so we're just going to be looking just based on the visuals of it. The music is even provocative. I want you to see what it is that we all are seeing. This story is going viral, and it's out there. Once it's out there on the internet, it's out there. You cannot take it back. And they participated in this dance in an open. When you do things in public, there is no assumption of privacy. So they did this dance routine in public. People filmed it, and therefore it is property of the internet now at this point. So as you see, the young ladies are standing there in front of a chair. They start winding down low, legs open, right? And when I first saw this video, I was like, what's the issue? And then the person told me that these girls are allegedly 14. Because I'm like, what's the issue? I don't know how old I was like, what are the ages of these young women? Because some of the ones in the back look young, but these other ones, you really can't tell. And then you see the man. So the man is there up in the front. He's dancing and stuff, having himself a good time, moving in closer and closer on the girls. He himself is going down low. Then a woman comes up. And she's basically telling him, them my babies right there. Them my babies. They may look grown, but they not grown. Them babies. And I got to protect my baby. And she's pushing him back. And she's like, they not grown, them babies. And you see him, he looks intoxicated. So she turns around and he starts trying to grab her from behind because it's already an excited state out there. And then the girls are doing their whining. And people are just milling around. And she's like telling him, listen, back up. I need you to move back. Right? And you see the girls got on makeup. They've already begun the puberty process, because you see that she's like telling him, back up. You can already see they've started to go through puberty. Some of these girls have larger bosom. And look, they're whining, like working it like a snake, side to side. And, I'm Caribbean American. So whining is something that comes naturally for people from the Caribbean. However, there are certain movements that really have no application outside of the bedroom. So they're bending over for each other. So basically, I'm going to say this. This is like stripper dancing. I have to say it. Who is in the chair? What is the chair there for? This is the way that you do it in the nightclub. And the DJ, look, they're opening up their legs. What is the purpose of opening up your legs and bending backwards? It serves no other purpose other than sexual arousal, sexual activity, or whatnot. Then they move the chairs out of the way, right? So the DJ was like, that's right, tip them girls. So you're whining and grinding over a chair with an invisible person, and now they're supposed to start throwing dollar bills at them. Look, the guy is back. He's drunk and he's going to use his intoxication as an excuse. Like, why are they down pumping up with their legs open, right? Winding. As you see, they got the hip movement. Body's already developed from the female hormone surging. Now what is this about? Why is the girl was bending over and putting her buttocks in front of a person's genitals and then shaking and twerking it on a person's genitals? What is the application for that in real life? Well, we know what the application is for that in real life. And then you got the little chubessa coming out there, and little chubby, you can see her butt crack. Look when she turns around. And so she's dancing, little chubessa doing her thing, dancing. Look, booty out. See her crack? And it's like, we're talking about protecting our daughters. Listen, protecting our babies. Protection happens long before they got onto this dance floor. And they're like popping it. And then they got the fringes on to just make the twerking even more stand outish. And then they're winding, going down low with the legs open. Oh yeah, dude. And then so listen, and the song lyrics are provocative. The song lyrics are talking about what's that? Love you, me can love you long time, and go up and down on it. Look, poom shorts. Like even if you were like, oh, this is just innocent dancing, whatever, you know, why the need for some of the girls to have on poom shorts, right? It's just, and then baby's crack is still out, pumping. And then you see the bowls, so you know some of them are young. And then you see those booties just working. And then now down on the floor, and then look, splitting, butt cheeks down on the ground. What is the purpose of that? What is the purpose? And then look, this is the part that really made me feel like, oh, well, we must have missed the part. While I was talking, we must have missed it. Because at one point, the person pumps up and then she just grabs inside of the middle of her butt. All right, so I'm just going to let that play while we're talking. So that, and you see the guy is down there and they're dancing. Listen, and they're gyrating. And listen, let's talk. Damn it. Let's talk. All right, so there's a person by the name of Kendra Gordon who posted this on Facebook. It has gone viral. People are, listen, do not call these young girls hoes on my channel. You will get blocked. These are still children or young ladies, or they're women, and we don't support misogynistic, derogatory titles towards women on this channel at all. So the girls are being teased and bullied at school. Don't do that. Don't do that. These are still children. But as women, as matriarchs, we failed. We failed because what are we doing? The children may not know what these movements are for, but we do. As adults, we do. We know what these movements are for. And the artistry is just not there. The emphasis is on the crotch and the buttocks. That's where the full emphasis is. And this is, we were talking about, about not having elders and what happens in the community when we don't have elders. There's no feminine hand movements and any other application besides just twerking. Just the emphasis on the buttocks and the crotch. That's it. There's no artistry. And I implore, listen, dancing is wonderful. It's a wonderful team sport. It's a great exercise. However, we've got to do better. Hire a professional choreographer. Hire a person who's going to be able to help your children, your daughters, do the types of dances that are applicable in the real world for demonstrating artistry, athleticism, coordination. Oh, wow. And oh, goodness. And the guy, look at this guy. All up. You see, oh, God. And it's because we put the girls out there like that. We put them out there like that. Gyrating and throbbing their bodies and stuff in front of grown men. Ladies, black women, what are we doing? He's throwing his CD down on the ground? This is sad. You know what? listen. And I know that the young ladies who are in this video will see this video. So I'm just going to say this. Listen, young ladies, no, this is not your fault. This is not on you. You are a child. The adults around you know better. And I'm sorry that you all are going through any type of backlash surrounding this. This is not okay. For far too many of us Black women, we are taught that our full worth exists between our legs, and that is not so. But it is perpetuated and promulgated into our minds, so much so that we lead with sexuality because we know, oh, men like sex, men like sexuality. And instead of allowing relationships to naturally flourish, instead of presenting ourselves to the world as complete, complex human beings, we just go pum pum front. We lead with the crotch. And our worth is so much more than that. As a young lady, you are beautifully, powerfully, and wonderfully made. You are an amazing creation, and you are worth more than just gyrating some simulated sex moves in front of the public. And I'm sorry that your image was prostituted in this way. And I promise you, I do not say that lightly. Because there are adults who were involved in this situation who knew better. And we fail to protect our babies by putting them front and center, simulating sex moves and adult entertainment moves for the internet. And there may be some people who are like, oh, this wasn't for the internet. But by the time that you see people are filming with their phones, it's on the internet. Then at this point, this is 2020. We all know better. We know that anything that we do in public is subjected to be posted online. We know that, and as Black women, we have failed these girls. We failed them. And I'm just going to say this just to educate us. There was a documentary came out called Are All Men Pedophiles? That was the name of the documentary. And in the documentary, they explored the idea, right, that men are not naturally pedophilic, but they are hebephilic. And a hebephile is a person who is attracted and drawn to young fertility. A pedophile is a person who is attracted to children who have not yet gone through puberty. But once they've gone through puberty and have begun to show the signs of being matured out of childhood, once they start getting the waist to hip ratio and the physical symbols that the person is fertile, that men are attracted to that, and that this is the way that we have evolved as human beings, and that is just naturally embedded in us, because the men who had the most children started with the women that were young and fertile. They had the most children. Their children lived the longest. The ones who decided to go to girls who were prepubescent, many of those children died. They could not get through the birth canal. The children and the mother dies in childbirth. But the young women who start early, they have the most children. And so most of us evolved from women, young women who produced children and produced a lot of them. So that was a good mating strategy then. We have all types of laws that stop us from doing certain things now, but the programming is still embedded within us to be drawn towards young fertility. And we as the matriarchs, we as the women who are protecting these children, young fertility, young femininity must be protected. It must, because it comes with all of the genetic building blocks for being able to produce children without the mental capacity to be able to use logic, decision-making, and reasoning that can combat that of a grown man. And without the knowledge and the know-how of how to be able to care for a child which comes forth. So it's like young fertility, young femininity must be protected, and we have failed these children. We are failing ourselves because there's some woman out there. There's some women out there and many parents who allowed their daughters to participate in this routine, who don't know better, or who have not shifted into knowing better. So this is what they know. But There was a woman there who seemed to know that it was inappropriate for a man to come up there and begin dancing with them. But it's like you're throttling young fertility and young femininity, all of those pheromones and the look, the bustling, bouncing look of young femininity in front of these grown men's faces. Men who have no allegiance or ties to them, but are genetically programmed to be drawn towards that. And we're throttling it in front of them. We have failed these girls. We have failed them. I wrote a book called The Book of Affirmations, Self-Love. And there's so many of us out there who don't know how to love ourselves, who don't know what self-love looks like. And I wrote this book to be able to assist with creating the shift. This is my personal book right here. This book has changed and shifted my life and so many other lives. These are the most powerful affirmations I use to shift myself from where it is that I was before, living in my car, spiraling and going down into a hole and not knowing how to get out of it, to thriving and living, traveling and loving life and myself. This book is available on Amazon. The links and stuff are below the video. You could come to my website, TonyaTKO.com, and get the direct link to it on Amazon. But it's like, at what point do we realize that we can do better, that we can do different? And it's like when you're raised and inducted into a situation, you don't know better. But I'm telling you here and now that you are worth so much more than that. You are worth so much more than that. You are a complex, beautiful, intricate, unique individual who is made in the likeness of universal source energy. You are a ray of energy. I want to hear your thoughts below, because we can do so much better than this. I want to hear your thoughts. Leave your comments below. I'm Tonya TKO. Go out there and love one another, but most importantly, love yourself. And part of loving yourself is realizing what it is that we've been programmed, and knowing when things are really not functioning, and then creating that shift. All right? So listen, on that note, I'm going to jump out of here. My once annual sale of vitamin E is coming up very soon, so make sure you go to my website to check on that. And I will see you all in the next video. Tonya TKO, and I'm out. Peace. Thank you for watching. Make sure you thumbs up the video and leave a comment below. Make sure that you're subscribed and that your bell notifications are turned on. And come to TonyaTKO.com to join my personal mailing list, to send me a personal message, and to find out more about matchmaking. And I'll see you on the other side. Peace.